round one, game one, with we're playing mono green aggro, a lot like Todd Anderson's version, but I've got some really techie card choices, some real wild stuff that I think turns some lines of play in your favor, and that's the main reason why I want to make some videos and see what you guys think about that. But we lost the die roll in this one, so we're going to be on the draw for game one. And okay, so I'm not sure how to not skip the mulligan, but the first hand was Strangleroot Geist, Thrun, and 5 lands. That's garbage for us. We don't have a first turn play in that hand. We don't have something cool like a sword for the Strangleroot Geist, and the Geist is probably just going to break even if he's all by himself. So that's a really bad hand, and we have to mulligan. Not looking at this Tangleworm right here because that was the first turn draw, but we saw 2 lands, an elf, which is good, so we know we got a first turn, 1 drop, right? And then the rest of the hand is a Metamorph, a Dismember, and a Green Sun Zenith. And this is like a really versatile toolbox kind of hand, almost like you're the control player in the matchup, right? You can do a lot of different things. Like we can, if he doesn't die, then turn 2 you can Green Sun for Strangleroot Geist, and then turn 3 you can Metamorph the Geist, right? And you can kill something with Dismember if you need to in between this, or you can, if you need to kill something, or he plays something that's more valuable for you to copy than just one of your dudes, right? So you copy his, super cool guy, and then kill it afterwards. And then you can save that Green Sun Zenith for a Hunt Master or something, right? So we definitely keep that hand. And then he won the die roll. He goes Seachrome Coast, Ponder, go. And so that pretty much tells us we're playing Delver and that we already won the round because it just feels that lopsided. So we untap, draw Bellowing Worm, play Elf, say go. Typical. In his turn 2, he plays a Delver, and he Vapor Snags my Elf. That's okay. It's not a big deal because he's still good like later turns, and that got him to burn one of his Vapors, so that's fine. Untap and draw a Sword. That's cool. So we just want to replay the Elf here and just keep trying to pressure that acceleration. What I also decide to do there is dismember his Delver. And the reason I do that is because more than likely I'm going to curve out the rest of this hand. I'm always going to be tapping out for one thing at a time. And so this is as good as time, as any to just pop the guy off and, don't give him the chance to flip. He was tapped out, all that kind of good stuff. So we dismember with it. And then on his turn 3, he does nothing. So what does he tell us? Mana Leak, right? So he doesn't want to do anything in his turn. He's holding Mana Leak. We draw Forest. So what I decide to do here, whatever I play, I'm assuming it's going to get Mana Leaked. But I'm not just going to sit there, unless I really feel like I just want to beat on him with a Llanowar Elf. I wouldn't do that. So let's see what I went with here. Okay, so that's fair. Alright, so what I decided to do was, what I said I would likely not do, but basically I just decided that all these threats are really important, That could be anything. That guy's amazing, insane, right? But for that play, all we can do is play Feast and Famine or Green Sun Zenith. And I didn't feel like running that into a Mana Leak, so we just hold it. So we tag him. He's not, he has nothing on the board. He can't pressure us anyways, so we just tag him and say go. What are you going to do? He doesn't do anything again, and we draw a sword. So now we've got 3 different things we can do here to force a Mana Leak. So in this position, you want to just start playing everything out, which might have even been the correct choice last turn. I don't know. Maybe somebody could post a comment on that. But I decide now that it's just time to just push it. And he missed the land drop anyways, so that's good. So Feast and Famine gets mana leaked, and Elf tags him again. Untaps with a 4th land and says go. So I'm assuming that he's going to go Snapcaster Mana Leak. So same thing, Mana Leak. So we're just going to play into it. I decided to throw the Tangleworm out there because I think the Green Sun target I'm going to go get, like a Hunt Master or something, is probably going to be more valuable. Bellowing Tangleworm needs a lot of buddies with him, and I don't really have a board presence, to use him effectively. So, him mana leaking this is hilarious if you really think about it, because it's the worst card in my hand for this game, like that line of play. And this isn't one of those overrun draws where you just swarm somebody. Those are pretty rare. So we run Tangleworm into it. He draws, and he doesn't do anything. So now we got another turn, and this is a big one because we're at 6 mana now. So we could just do whatever we want. So I run the Green Sun Zenith out there, and he has the Snapcaster Mage, and he pops the Mana Leak. So in reality, I probably should have played the Sword and just played around Mana Leak. It's probably pretty bad. But hey, I'm human. Who cares, right? What's a good saying? Like, a loose player is just a bad winner or something? I don't know. I don't know. But, hey, there we go. 6 mana Dungrove. Dungrove's a great top deck there. He's just a big beater. For some reason, I didn't agree with this at all, but for some reason he decides he's going to throw his blue guys into me. And this is where the game actually takes a big turn. So we decide to start pumping it. Throw the sword down, throw the sword on, and make him chump block with another guy. So now he had 4 guys, but he has no pressure. He has no pressure on us anymore. He's going to lose this race bad. So I didn't think throwing the first 2 guys at me was probably a good idea. It kind of makes up for my player too, because the other Green Sun Zenith, we got another one, but that's not an excuse for misplaying the first one. Should have put a 3-drop out there. But, it's whatever. And his mistake ended up, I think, I would have tried to just block with everybody and just get that Dungrove off the board. Yeah, because I'd be tapped out anyways. So he untaps after losing another guy, and he can't flip his Delver, which wouldn't have mattered anyways, I don't think. But he can't flip his Delver. His Moreland Hunt is worthless because he can't block, and he's got 1 chump block left. So it looks like he's on the chump block dude plan, So I'm just gonna try to push him because he's only got 2 cards left in his hand. So every guy he loses is like just catastrophic for him because he can't do anything. So I'm basically making him tap mana to discard a card every turn, and then I throw out that Green Sun Zenith I drew to just solidify the board position, because we're gonna race this out. And Hunt Master does a good job of that, which is why I ended up adding him to the deck as a 1-of. He's good for situations like this where it looks like you're gonna win the race, but he's got a couple cards left. That he silences that line of play. It's just like, hey, you're not gonna win the race, period. So it's pretty cool. And you can what? You metamorph him too. So he's nuts. So he untaps and he's like, oh my god, I can't win the race, and just folds it up. And that's game 1. And I'm gonna show you guys nothing for sideboard. Sorry. But sideboarding for that matchup is pretty simple. You're going to bring in all 3 Corrosive Gales. Actually, I could probably show it to you on the deck editor since this video is so well scripted. But for that matchup, you want all 3 Corrosive Gales and the Stingerfling Spider. So that's where he really gets time to shine. You're gonna push the board. What you're doing with your deck when you sideboard for Delver is you're still gonna try to pressure the board and play beat down, but you're gonna have it backed up with sweepers instead of risky spot removal. You can keep one. I keep one dismember, but I let go of the Tumble Magnets in the second dismember because that's more of a card choice against like humans and stuff. Um, and since we're getting a sweeper, that's really nice. Now for Stingerfling Spider, there's a lot of things you can do. I didn't see a phantasmal image in the first game. So if I don't see that, then I'm more likely to take out something like acidic slime or bellowing tangleworm and keep these faster guys, right? Because even though he gives you the evasion in this matchup, um, if they have Rune Chanter's Pike, then acidic slime is more valuable to you. If they have um, if they don't have Phantasmal Image, it lets you maximize your value out of Huntmaster. Just like, he folded as soon as I played the Huntmaster because there's really just nothing you could do to stop him if it resolves. You can't Vapor Snag. So you're going to take out the Tangleworm there for the Stingerfling Spider. And that guy's bonkers nuts because he's tempo, card advantage, and good in combat all at the same time. Like, he can kill a Flip Delver, and then he'll be ready to block something else. Or even bigger, he can kill a Dungeon Geist, and then block a Delver, and not trade, right? And then on top of that, he doesn't die to guys like Elish Norn, Inferno Titan, stuff like that. So the 2/5 body, even though it doesn't really matter, sometimes it matters a lot because if they bring it down to a 0/3 with Elish Norn, but then you slap a bunch of swords on him, Stingerfling Spider is an awesome threat. So that guy I think is awesome, and he comes in against Delver every time. If there's other stuff you want to take out, like you can take out Feast and Famine for Ratchet Bomb, which I think is what I did. I think I took out two Feast and Famine for 2 Ratchet Bombs. That's really what I like against Delver. Just because we play 3 Ratchet Bombs, we don't need to bring them all in. We don't want to make our game plan inconsistent. I didn't mention it in the deck tech, but the consistency of this deck is really the strength of it. It's nothing really that special, I don't think. But it's so consistent and gives the player a lot of different choices that usually aggro decks don't give you this many choices in these kinds of lines of play. So this is a pretty fun aggro deck to play because I think it's a little bit more interesting when you're playing it, which is probably why I don't mind playing it every event right now. I don't mind it. It's pretty good. But that's how I sideboard for Delver, and then let me go get you guys game 2.